What's up, everybody? This is Ninja Burrito, and we are back with a Master Ninja Guide for Chapter 7 of a fresh Master Ninja run with no items. We're doing no items so that you don't feel restricted by being caught in a situation where you used an item that you don't have, and then I use it to get through, and then you're like, I can't do what he did because I used that item earlier. You're not going to run into that issue because this is no items. This is Chapter 7. There's only two things to worry about in Chapter 7. That is the Purgatory Gate and the first boss battle. The second boss battle, literally, you can just lose it right away. It's just there for story reasons, so no big deal there. But the first boss battle is very tough, and the Purgatory Gate is pretty tough, too. I'm going to skip ahead here because there's no updates. Turn in your missions, of course, if you have any to turn in. I don't think that we do. Oh, we do. We will get one mission to turn in here after we get the Gordy, and then come downstairs to the Purgatory Gate. Pretty hard to miss. The Gordy is right behind the Purgatory Gate. Only shows up as Yakumo, not as Ryu, mind you, for you chapter select users. So AXY gets us that Gordy, and now we're going to do the Purgatory Gate. Now, for the Purgatory Gate, we're, as always, so far, going to do Realm of Hell, so that's the maximum penalty on HP, and we will find our way through it. Took me a few tries on this Purgatory Gate, but let's get straight to it. So for this Purgatory Gate, what's tricky about it is there's a lot of those big poison guys. So what we're going to try to do is kill using Blood Raven form pretty quickly here to generate some essence, and then I accidentally absorbed it like a goober. But that is okay because we're going to get some more essence here. And then we're going to use that to Ultimate Technique. Ultimate Techniques are the name of the game, though I think you're going to find it comical how we wrap up this trial, because sometimes those poison guys can block your Ultimate Technique, right? And that makes it difficult. But here's an attribute of Ultimate Techniques that you should absolutely know. Essence-based Ultimate Techniques do not get blocked. When you use that Essence-based one, they eat it, man. But if you don't have Essence as part of your absorption to use the Ultimate Technique, they'll block it a lot. So that is kind of the difference maker. Watch, we're going to use that, and look, he doesn't block it. But you'll notice later that if we don't absorb any essence, they'll block those UTs. So once the first poison guy's dead, get out of the poison because we don't have much health, and try to use some of the essence to get some kills that are not lanterns. Lanterns do not drop essence. In this situation, I didn't get any essence because I killed lanterns. So we're going to try to flying swallow with the sword some of these Tengu. I think that's probably the way to go. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. Yeah, I use a ranged attack instead to delim this guy, and then I just can't OT him for some reason, but he's dead, so we'll get some essence, I'm sure. And we're going to keep using the drill here. But you can also use Flying Swallow with the sword to get some easy kills on the Tengu, because these are not great Tengu. These are like fan Tengu, which are a little bit easier to kill. So again, no essence to absorb right now, so we're going to kill the Tengu and then use their essence on the middle poison guy, okay? See, a block. Not blocked. See, isn't that interesting about the essence? Essence makes the difference, guys. You can use your Blood Raven ranged attacks as well. I think they are very, very strong here for getting delims on the Tengu. They're also pretty strong against the poison guys when they're the only thing left. So we have some essence. Let's take this guy out with the essence, not the Berserk stance. We're going to use the Berserk stance strategically against some Oni and another poison guy here. So activating Berserk. I'm getting some charge kills here. There's some essence on the ground, so we'll absorb that. And then we're going to try to use our Berserk stance on these guys. There's an Oni behind him that we kill with it. And now we have some essence. And we're actually in pretty good shape at this point. For some reason, I can't delim this dog. Alright, so we have two guys here. This can be pretty tricky. We have essence in this, so we're going to get one of them killed. Or almost killed. And then you'll notice that I'm struggling to get a UT off. I was like, man, I can't UT this guy, right? So we're just going to have to kill him the old-fashioned way. They do an untelegraphed, like, body slam, so that's what I'm trying to be careful of. And I'm trying to be like, surely I can get this, right? So no, we're just going to use a Blood Raven attack, and he was nearly dead. Then we'll get essence on this guy. But now we're in the same situation. There's the body slam. Very, very careful. What you can do instead is get away from him and just use your charged, ranged Blood Raven attacks to kill this guy, since he's the only guy left. As you see, it can see we're not having much luck, so just charge those up, shoot those at him, and he'll die. It's a little cheesy, but it gets the job done, right? All right. So once that's done, now we can move on to the main event of the level. And we'll just skip ahead 5 seconds to a time here. Come back to Umi and turn in your mission for getting the Gordy. And then pick up the new mission, of course. And we already have 23 out of 23 for Tyron. So no new upgrades in this level. But in the next level, we'll finally start getting some new upgrades. This boss, guys, no iteming this boss is not easy. But I think it's easier than fighting the Chapter 3 boss, the Fox Lady. So here's what you can do. Phase 1 is all about ultimate techniques. Seriously. But don't start with ultimate techniques. His first string is too fast, so just go for a block string. Block into a Blood Raven counter during the power attack for the first part. Block, 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 counter. And you can dodge in there if you prefer, but you really don't need to. So we're going to get some attacks off. And for our attack strings, it's going to be a combination of X, X, Blood Ravens, X, let go of Blood Raven, XX, Blood Raven, X, let go of Blood Raven, XXX. Just weave in a couple Blood Raven attacks in there to stun lock him a little bit. And then, of course, I spent too long here, so we're now going to have to break him again. For this, we use the perfect dodge into hold left trigger, or hold Blood Raven, to get that free strike. And you'll notice that I'm using the Taka Minakata for Phase 1. I prefer the Taka Minakata for Phase 1, but we'll use the drill for Phase 2. Why do I prefer the Taka Minakata? Mostly for its Blood Raven form ability to jump on top of the sword and then press Y. But you'll notice now that we are in full-blown ultimate technique. So here's the thing. Almost everything he does, you can kill him with an ultimate technique because it knocks him back, then we jump away. If he summons the tornadoes, I jump through him and charge. I'll tier 1. It didn't get a hit there, but we didn't take damage, so it doesn't matter. This spin attack, you got to watch out for. So we're going to dodge that, and then he does that leap where we'll just do a level 2 ultimate technique. Then we're going to jump back. When he hits 50%, he will drop a health orb. You'll see he's doing the tornadoes, so we have to release it early and then wait for him to attack, and that's when we'll let it go. Again, remember, Essence is not blockable, so we're just going to use it whenever. We don't have to wait for like a window to ultimate technique there. That was a very greedy ultimate technique. You don't have to. You can go back at any time. You can do the block, block, block into counter. You really can. Both of these strategies are legitimate. The ultimate techniques just buy you time to reset your guard counter. So there we go. And you'll see you got that ultimate technique off. The only one that really is spicy on the timing is when the guy does the spin. Hopefully he showcases it here, because the jump is easy. When he jumps at you, you just, whatever, basically have all the time in the world to hit him. But the spin is different. Okay, here's the spin. So the thing about the spin is it will one-shot kill you if you release the ultimate technique too early. But if you release it at just the right time, right about here, when he's actually attacking, you'll phase through him. Or best case scenario, if you wait long enough, you'll hit him with the ultimate technique. But in this case, we just dodged through him. I do want to showcase that again because it can be tricky. And here's the spin. And so there's the timing on that. And that gives you plenty of time because he's in recovery to charge up again. It's just annoying when he does tornadoes, of course. He does hit me with that jaw chomp, so I think a better strategy is when he does tornadoes, just hold block and go into a counter string instead. But it is what it is. And then that jump, of course, is always free. It might seem cheesy, but this is a really good way to generate points on this encounter. And now we're in phase 2, so we get another health orb. We'll get one more health orb, blood essence, when he's at 50%. For this, he does 3 laps around, and then he dives at you. So we're going to use right bumper to dodge it. don't get hit by the tornadoes. And then the whole idea here is breaking him during power attack. So you get time for like an XXX string here. When he jumps in the air like this, you got to get away from him. And then he'll do one of two follow-ups, either a constant spinning attack, which I normally try to perfect dodge, or two follow-up attacks, which were too far away for the first one because I always get away from him. But then the second one, I usually try to block or more preferably perfect dodge towards him. There's one attack, two attack, and again, let's just rewind that a little bit because I know pausing it makes it a little weird looking. So he goes up, 1, 2, we dodge through, get a few attacks, no more than 3. And then here, we're going to, when he backflips away, we're always going to use the drill here because of the range that it gets on just a Blood Raven stance plus X light attack, because you dive at the enemy really far when you do that. And so that's enough range to break him. And all we do is fill in 3 or 4 light attacks, do another Blood Raven spear attack and another Blood Raven spear attack after that, and then we're basically done. He dives into the air again there, and you see him do the actual other thing that he can do, which is the spin. You can fully block it or perfect dodge it, but if you do block it, you need time to reset your guard, okay? So that's when I start kiting away from him most of the time. This wind attack, just kite around the arena. It's not really much of a threat at all. And then I'm trying to bait him to dive at me so we can really make sure our guard is reset and try to create an opportunity. And you'll see that we dodged the first one, but the second one he's within range of the Blood Raven power attack, so we go for that for some extra damage. After you interrupt one of his jumps with a power attack, it's always a shorter duration than interrupting one of his like dog form attacks. So if he's in bird form and you interrupt, just know that you have less time, and then he does one of two things. You just saw him do an explosion attack, but he'll also just do a single swipe. One time, and only one time in fighting him, he did a triple attack from the air. Never saw him do that again, so if that happens, probably just count it as a one-off. That's what I did. But yeah, the explosion. And then after the explosion or the swipe, he sometimes does the go up into the air attack again. So he did the spin. After the spin, you have room for about 2 or 3 attacks before he does another melee combo. Back into a backflip where, again, we break his guard. There's another explosion. There's the regular attack instead of the explosion. And there's tornadoes. Don't fight him around the tornadoes, guys. Just stay away. And then here, we're going to try to break his guard again. There we go. And we're halfway now. I know this is going at breakneck speed because it is going fast, but that's basically the formula to beating him. He doesn't do anything new except for, after 50%, and actually it's more like 25% and lower, if you kite him to a corner, like let's say he's over here and we back up to this corner, and then he does the charge against the fly power attack and we can't reach him, and you fly into the air to dodge it, if you're in the corner, he will pass under you, but then he'll come back and do a spin attack that's undodgeable, and it kills you a lot. So in this sort of second half of the fight, I try not to kite him too close to the wall, even though that helps out with our breaking his guard on the follow-up. It just a tip for you, because it caused me to die when he was at like 10% health like 3 times. Figure that out. So anyways, we're moving in for some auto attacks. And then we're going to dodge this. Perfect dodge that. Again, no more than 2 there. Into a parry. And you just really want to get familiar with his attack strings and his punish windows. But again, he is easier than the courtesan boss, so he's just weird. You know, he's weird. And there's that break from his phase 1 string. And you'll notice I glowed yellow. So I'm trying to buy myself time here for my guard to reset. Because again, I still don't know how long it takes to really reset it fully. So I just like to give it some time. And again, we can't reach that, so we're jumping. Alright, this stupid wind attack. Just get away from it. It's about 3 jumps. There's the explosion attack. There's a spin of hell. And see, here's the thing too. What he just did there, normally he does a power attack there. Sometimes he'll trigger the power attack and then juke you and cancel it into that wing swing that he just did. So be very, very careful. I think your positioning triggers that, like when you're behind him or something, but just something to note as well. There's the spin. And we're just playing it extra safe because I really don't want to fight this guy any longer. Because learning him was a little annoying. So we're going to jump this. And we're going to break him. And I'm going full ham here to finish him off with Blood Raven attacks. So that's the boss, guys. That's Kurobo. Doggy of Doggy Sanctum. Boss is completed. Dogbird. Bird dog? Whatever you want to call him. Now, there is a second boss, like we mentioned. But just so you know, it is completely optional. And by optional, I mean you can just die right off the bat, as I will showcase here. I tried to fight him a little bit, and I was like, man, I don't really have any moves compared to, like, you know, normal. I was like, can I hit him with this? No, of course he blocks it. So I'm just messing around here, praying that you don't actually have to fight this guy. And you don't. He can just beat you, and that's perfectly okay. I do get a low rank, guys, because you'll see that I took 83 deaths and over 2 hours to beat the level. That is literally just from trying to prog and learn the boss. So pretty low rank because I took so long, but I bet you won't take as long. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this is helpful with beating Kurobo, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Ninja Burrito. Peace.